began with a biography. One of so many biographies. I mean, what harm could it do? So, started with an autobiography, followed by more biographies and conspiracy theories, and then, before I knew it, BAM! There she was. Everyone knows Marilyn Monroe, right? You know, beautiful blonde movie star, total enigma. I mean, you really should know about her. If you're watching this, it'd be weird if you've never heard of her, but just in case, I'll give you a bit of background. Here we go, strapping. Born Norma Jean, with a deeply troubled mother, later institutionalised, and an absent and utterly disinterested father who didn't even want to know when she was famous. Juggled from foster home to possibly abusive foster home, and then married off at 16 to avoid the orphanage. Abandonment issues, deeply insecure, chronically late for everything, I mean, the same. Died young. My icon. So many people's icon. Even though hardly any of that stuff is good stuff. I mean, if you described that life and applied it to an airline pilot or your dentist, then you think, oh, I don't want to be anything like that person. Anyhow, I started with this one biography, and it said that she was bananas, a drug-addled, nymphomaniacal psychotic. The next painted her as a frightened, innocent child, swept away by a tsunami of fame. Another said she was a savvy, intelligent, misunderstood goddess with a razor-sharp wit. More say that she was murdered by the mafia, or the FBI, or the CIA, or the Kennedys, or the Russians, or her analysts, or maybe a combination of the whole lot. The more I read, the worse it got. Now I feel like the task of untangling this contradictory swamp of misinformation and lies is taking over my life. Just enough! One day I woke up, and call me crazy, but she's here. Inside my head. Things like caviar. It's good to have caviar, but if you have it every damn day, too much caviar. Do you see what I mean? I'm trying to find myself. Sometimes that's not easy. Oh, really isn't. Don't I know it? But we have so much in common. So I thought that maybe if I could find her, then I could find myself. And I think she could feel that because I think she's here so that she can help me find her, so that I can find me, so that she can find herself. Are you with me? Here's some descriptions of her. A mean 7-year-old, a freak, strawhead, sometimes ethereal and sometimes like a waitress in a coffee shop. Such a delightful little thing. Not to mention the girl most likely to thaw Alaska. Is that a compliment or an insult? I don't know. Is Marilyn responsible for global warming? Damn girl, you hot! She was a walking, talking contradiction. From an iron-willed determination to succeed. I'm keeping working, and nothing, do you hear me? Nothing will stop me from becoming a movie star. To a monumental lack of self-worth. I always had this secret feeling that I was really a fake or something. A phony. I always felt I was nobody, and the only way to be somebody was to be, well, somebody else. Mood. God, drink to that. So, that's what you did, didn't you, Norma dear? In 1946, Norma Jean signed a starlet contract with 20th Century Fox, dyed her hair blonde, and called herself Marilyn Monroe. Back then, Me Too was just a phrase that meant, I agree with that sentiment, or can I join in? So, with only herself to rely on, she did whatever she had to do to get ahead. Or did she? I mean, some biographies claim that she sold herself, others that she was pure as the driven snow. She's probably a victim of casting couch culture, but we could ask her. Now. In Hollywood, a girl's virtue is much less important than a hairdo. It's a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss, and 50 cents for your soul. So just adjust for inflation then, am I right? Oh, didn't really answer the question though, did it, Marilyn? I mean, I'd probably take a tenner. Heck, I'd throw in the soul for free, I'm not doing anything with it. Still, she's smart. And she knows that old white men run this town, yet not much has changed. So, enter septuagenarian founder of 20th Century Fox and millionaire Joe Schenck, followed by 5'2" Johnny Hyde, influential millionaire agent, married and 30 years her senior. Yeah, doesn't take a rocket scientist to guess what attracted her. That's right. Ding, 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 you just won yourself an all-inclusive trip to the Bahamas. The answer is... father figures. I knew nobody could help me like Johnny Hyde, but I felt sorry for him too, and he was crazy about me. I never lied to him, and I didn't think it was wrong of me to let him love me the way he did. The sex meant so much to him, but not much to me. It was cold outside to freeze. I was shivering in the storm. I walked in and asked a gentleman, could I please keep warm? He asked me, how come a baby doll has no comfy place to go? So I told that kindly gentleman my tale of woe. Every baby needs a daddy to keep her worry free. Every baby needs a daddy who is the one for me. Rich or poor, I don't care who. If he doesn't have a million, then I have him do. Every baby needs a daddy. Get that daddy feel. Every baby needs a daddy with silver in his hair. Every baby needs a daddy with some gold to spare. Some sweet softy who enjoys bringing home his bigger than diamond toys. Every baby needs a daddy. Get that daddy feel. I'm so sorry. Sorry. This song is super creepy. Like maximum level creepy. This was the first role she got, given to her by a millionaire, and oh god. We all feel like Miss Riding Hood, 'cause the wolves are awful hungry in our neighborhood. Every baby needs a daddy. Get that daddy feel. Get that daddy feel. By 1949, she'd been in a handful of forgettable B-movies, but the movie moguls just see her as a dumb, sexy, talentless whore. But dear old Johnny Hyde negotiates some small but key parts to showcase her talents. Love Happy, a brief but memorable encounter with Groucho Marx. Some men are following me.
Really? I can't understand why.
Joseph Mankiewicz, All About Eve, and John Huston's The Asphalt Jungle. Hyde negotiates a 7-year contract for her and then promptly dies. Selfish. She's distraught, abandoned, broke, and allegedly attempts suicide. But opinions vary on this. What do you say, Marilyn? Suicide is a person's privilege. I don't believe it's a sin or a crime. It's right to do, although it doesn't get you anywhere. Mood again. Oh, far more effort than was worth in my experience. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So after this, her popularity skyrockets. She receives sackloads of fan mail. The big bosses still don't like her very much. So despite acute shyness, lack of self-esteem, self-confidence and self, she discovers she has a talent for self-publicity. Who'd have thunk? At last she gets noticed. And Hollywood can't ignore her any longer.
This guy is fun and attractive.
Who's attractive? Who's excited?
Girl!
Who?
No, you're strangling me!
Who's excited? Who's attractive?
You.
Instead.
I should have known better. You're not cured.
Don't you say that!
Put that down.
You're just like my father. You want me to put it away?
Nonsense.
Dorothy, wait a minute. Louis, will you ask Mr. Essen to come back to our dressing room? He's sitting in his usual place.
Right away, Miss Lane. What's the rush? He's not gonna run away.
I know, but I just can't wait. For what?
Clash by night. Don't bother to knock. Niagara. Gentlemen prefer blondes. How to marry a millionaire. 7-year itch. She is a phenomenon.
A superstar. Well, that's the last cock I suck. Marilyn! Sorry, I really don't think she said that. Pretty sure she didn't say it. Who knows? She catches the eye of baseball hero and national treasure, Joe DiMaggio. They date. They marry. But the relationship's a few bases short of her home run. I mean, as a father figure, he's a little too strict for her liking. He didn't like the women I played. He thought they were sluts. He didn't like the actors kissing me, and he hated all my costumes. He didn't like anything about my movies, and he hated all of my clothes. When I told him I had to dress the way I did, that it was part of my job, he said,
Well, you should quit that job.
but who did he think he was marrying when he was marrying me? God, the cheek of it. He married Marilyn Monroe and then wanted her not to be Marilyn Monroe. Oh, and sometimes he's so boring I could scream. All he knows and talks about is baseball.
So, you married Joe DiMaggio and then you wanted it not to be Joe DiMaggio?
So that marriage lasted about 8 months. Meanwhile, the studios are making millions from her success, but refuse to admit she's a star. Well, gentlemen, the name of this picture is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. And whatever I am the blonde. But they never pay more than $1,500 a week, most of which goes straight to her acting coach. I mean, more well-respected actresses, Jane Russell, Bette Davis, Katharine Hepburn, they all got paid at least 3 times her wage. But it was never about the money. She just wanted respect, to belong, for someone to genuinely tell her, good job. I mean, is that too much to ask? For someone to just say, hey kiddo, good job. You've got talent, you've got something special. Once, just once. Someone who's not your mum or that one friend. I mean, she must have felt like she was screaming into this void and nobody would ever take her seriously because she hadn't been to drama school and then fucking COVID happened. Scratch that last bit. She just wanted to be fabulous. She was really good at fabulous. A sex symbol becomes a thing. I hate being a thing. what you want, you don't want it. If I gave you the moon, you grow tired of it soon. You're like a baby. You want what you want when you want it. But after you've been presented with what you want, you're discontent. You're always wishing and wanting for something. And when you get what you want, you don't want what you get. And though I sit upon your knee, you grow tired of me. 'Cause after you get what you want, you don't want what you wanted at all. Changeable, you've got a changeable nature. Always, always changing your mind. There's a longing in your eye, hard to satisfy, and here's the reason why. 'Cause after you get what you want, you don't want it. If I gave you the moon, you grow tired of it soon. You're like a baby. You want what you want when you want it. But after you've been presented with what you want, you're discontent. You're always wishing and wanting for something. But when you get what you want, you don't want what you get. And though I sit upon your knee, you grow tired of me. 'Cause after you get what you want, you don't want what you wanted at all. Baby, I don't mean to make you blue, but you need a talking to. 'Cause after you get what you want, you don't want what you wanted at all. I know you. In 1955, she bravely defies her contract, sets on a plane to New York, and sets up Marilyn Monroe Productions. I'm leaving Hollywood and coming to New York. I feel I can be more myself. After all, if I can't be myself, what's the good of being anything at all? I don't know, Marilyn. Or should I say Norma Jean? I mean, that's the elephant in the room, isn't it? Who exactly are you? I never wanted to be Marilyn. It just happened. Marilyn's a sort of veil I wear over Norma Jean. Okay, so what's the plan? Do you have a plan? Well, whatever the plan was, ta-da! Enter new love interest, Arthur Miller, Pulitzer Award-winning playwright and another national treasure and saviour. Meeting him was like running into a tree. You know, like a cool drink when you've got a fever.
My first impulse was to flee. With all her radiance, she was surrounded by a darkness that perplexed me.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like a very healthy start to a relationship. Described as the oddest couple since the owl and the pussycat, he is besotted by an angel. She by his intellectual gravitas.
America's best-known blonde moving picture star is now darling of the left-wing intelligentsia.
And next, enter Lee Strasberg, director of the Actors Studio and yet another father figure, without benefits this time. Well, maybe, possibly, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. He has the answer. She will become a classical actress, studying the method technique, inspired by the father of modern acting, Konstantin Stanislavski. This will give her respect, and serious roles will follow. Now, the method requires an actor to search the depths of one's soul, dredging up every sad and rotten experience, stripping away all of his layers to expose the vulnerable core beneath. It's not a fun experience. In fact, later in life, Stanislavski himself didn't actually recommend using personal trauma in acting for various reasons. Okay, irrelevant, kiddo, stay on topic. Also, as was de rigueur in Hollywood at the time, Strasberg insists she seek psychotherapy to release her real tragic power.
It was a real tragic mess. More self-examination was the last thing she needed. Now she could only escape her past by amphetamines, sedatives, and alcohol.
Papa?
Yeah?
Darling, could you find that Norman Mailer quote?
Where is it?
On the desk, there's a book. No, it's got Marilyn's face on it with a post-it.
Here it is. Perhaps no play had ever been written that was sufficiently gloomy to contain the depressed ego of an actor after he had worked under Strasberg's direction for several weeks. Sounds like fun.
She tried to strip back everything, get down to the essence of Marilyn. But just think about it. If you strip back all the layers of Marilyn, you eventually get right back down to Norma Jean. Back to exactly who Marilyn was created to escape from. Oh, Papa, I can't do it. I'm not trained actor. I can't pretend I'm doing something if I'm not. All I know is real. I can't do it if it's not real. I want to live quietly. I hate it. I can't do it anymore. I can't fight for myself anymore. This isn't real. No, you don't really care. Just leave me alone. No, please don't go. Don't leave me.
I suddenly saw that I was all she had. Her pain was my pain.
Sex symbol to classically trained actress. Pretty tall order. Especially on a toxic diet of anxiety, insomnia, uppers, downers. Debunked and frankly dangerous Freudian psychotherapy in Lee effing Strasberg's drama classes. She probably had borderline personality disorder. I'm sorry, Marilyn, something has to be said. Your cycles of neediness and provocation are a classic symptom. Black and white thinking, fears of abandonment, intense emotions, identity issues. In the effort to keep people close, you pushed everyone away. A girl doesn't need anyone who doesn't need her. Really, Marilyn? Thanks. I'll remember that. Still, her next film, Bus Stop, she gives the best performance of her career. So something's working. The acting at first came natural to me. I didn't overthink it. Then, it wasn't great art, was it? She thinks that co-starring with Laurence Olivier and Terence Rattigan's The Prince and the Showgirl will help her reputation. What she doesn't realise is that Olivier detests the Strasbergs and despises the method.
All you have to do, Marilyn, is be sexy. Everyone will be patient with you. Of course, their methods may require a little time for you to learn them, but they are all pleased to have such a delightful little thing amongst them.
At this point, she's taking enough pills and vitamin shots for a small army, having built up quite a tolerance. Her reputation for lateness is surpassed only by her even more legendary ability to remember her lines. Shit! Inability to remember her lines. She arrives later and later and later on set, if at all, ignores Olivier and takes direction only from her coach. The newly married Arthur struggles to understand his new wife. He leaves his notebook open. She reads it. Olivier was beginning to think I was a troublesome bitch, and that he no longer had a decent answer to that one. It was something about how disappointed he was in me. I was some kind of angel, but now he guessed he was wrong.
I didn't mean to leave it open. Freud said that sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Yeah, well, that's the goal for purpose!
While tearing off a game of golf, I may make a play for the caddy. But when I do, I don't follow through, because my heart belongs to Daddy. If I invite a boy some night to dine on my fine feminine hattie, I just adore his asking for more, but my heart belongs to Daddy. Yes, my heart belongs to Daddy. So I simply couldn't be back. Yes, my heart belongs to Daddy. Da, 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 da. So I want to warn you, laddie, though I know that you're perfectly swell, that my heart belongs to my daddy. 'Cause my daddy, he treats it so. While tearing off a game of golf, I may make a play for the caddy, but when I do, I don't follow through. Daddy. If I invite a boy some night to cook up some fine enchilada, low Spanish rice is all very nice. Yes, my heart belongs to my daddy, so I simply couldn't be back. Yes, my heart belongs to my daddy. Da 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 da. So I want to warn you, laddie, though I know you're perfectly swell, that my heart belongs to my daddy. 'Cause my daddy, that little old man just treats it so. That little old man, he just treats it so good. I know that one cannot love another, never really. as I see it now, I've ever had.
Then, in the whirlwind that is her life, she discovers she's pregnant. Maybe this is the answer to her loneliness. Someone to love who's hers and hers only. Is that right, Marilyn?
It was the happiest point in my entire life.
Oh, Marilyn. But we know the outcome. She loses the baby, and that wouldn't be the last time.
She was in a mess. I felt an urgency about making something for her, a gift for her to celebrate her beauty and complexity.
Must be nice to have someone to care like that. Arthur started writing The Misfits, a screenplay that would offer her a serious, dramatic role. But nobody is earning, and somebody has to pay the bills. She's offered Some Like It Hot. Marilyn hated the script.
I played dumb characters before, but never this dumb.
Who the fuck would believe that Josephine and Daphne were really women? Yeah, but you took the role of Sugar Cane, didn't you? Despite all the problems, gives a magnificent performance. It's acknowledged as a masterpiece. It's one of my favourites. Director Billy Wilder.
She was not easy to work with. Consistently late and demanding take after take. She was impossible. But the results were worth it. There were days when I could have struggled. But what you saw on screen was priceless. I didn't have a problem with Marilyn. Marilyn has a problem with Marilyn.
So I'm needy, am I? I have problems. Well, perhaps you're not the saviour you think you are either. Surprise. This marriage has problems just like every other. Men. Feet of fucking clay. The Misfits.
It was supposed to be a gift to me, but I was never consulted.
It's the story of my life that I want to forget. What kind of gift is that? Why would you want to make me feel more worthless than I already feel? I am not Rosalind. She's your ideal. Love me for what I really am. I don't think you even want me in the movie.
She did not have the mind to connect a string of clauses and detect a flaw in her logic.
I shouldn't talk to you like that. You should have slapped me.
I'm not going to slap you.
God, you should have slapped me.
You're not making any sense. Just calm down.
How can I calm down?
Just try.
I can't ever sleep. What does she think about? What good am I? I can't have kids. I can't cook. I've been divorced 3 times. Who would want me?
Millions of men.
Yeah. And who would love me? Who? Please don't hate me. What the fuck are you looking at?
She was everything. Whatever everybody was, she had a bit of it. And it was a tragic mess of impulses in any direction.
Oh, grouchy clumps.
I could no longer predict her moods. If there was a key to Marilyn's despair, I did not possess it.
Next is a film called Let's Make Love, and an affair with leading man Yves Montand. Now that's method acting.
Whatever will be, will be.
The Misfits turns out to be a grueling ordeal of epic proportions, and a real box office flop.
Well, I guess it's all over between us.
I'm through with love, I'll never fall again. Said adieu to love, don't ever call again. For I must have you or no one. So now I'm through with love. I've locked my heart, I'll keep my feelings there. I've stopped my the spring and all it meant to me. It cannot bring the thing that used to be, for I must have you or no one. So now I'm through with love. Goodbye to spring and all it meant to me. It cannot bring the thing that used to be, for I must have you or no one. So now I'm through with love, and now I'm through with you. Baby, I'm through with love. Back to Hollywood, back where she started, still Marilyn.
My work is the only ground I ever have to stand on. To put it bluntly, I seem to have a whole superstructure with no foundation.
Yeah, well, at least you had a superstructure, darling. The next father figure is Dr. Ralph Greenson, psychotherapist to the stars. He diagnoses her with paranoid addictive personality, fear of abandonment, and borderline paranoid schizophrenia. So basically, he just takes a load of clinical diagnoses, smooshes them all together, and comes up with a highly irregular approach to treatment, embracing her into the bosom of his family. I'm pretty sure that's crossing some fundamental patient-doctor boundaries somewhere there.
She would sleep with less medication if she realised she's fighting sleep as well as searching for some obvious oblivion which is not sleep. I should have played it safe and put her in a sanitarium. That would have been safe for me, but deadly for her.
I am not a victim of emotional conflicts. I am a human.
No, shut up, Marilyn! Shut up! You're full of shit, you know that! Fuck off as well. I can't do this anymore. I can't work you out, I give up! Psychiatric hospital, lots of analysis, affairs, Frank Sinatra, President Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, possibly lots of others. The list is endless. Were you murdered? Did you commit suicide? Was it all the doctor's fault? Yes? No? True? False? More disappointment, more despairs, more analysis, more pills? Oh! And dear old boring Joe comes back.
Let's get married then.
No, shut up! Another film destined never to finish. Something's gotta give. Well, it did. But what does it matter? Eh? Did you sleep around? Were you a little crazy? How did you really die? You made it, didn't you? You're a fucking legend. 70 years later, you still have household name. You wanted to twinkle. You twinkled. And I'm as messed up in the head as you ever were. When do I ever get to twinkle? Nobody's writing books about me and calling me an enigma. You ungrateful piece of shit! Marilyn, I'm sorry. Marilyn? Marilyn? She's gone. Marilyn! Marilyn, I'm sorry. Please come back. I didn't mean to. God, who do I think I am? Marilyn Monroe.
Here goes. Good night, sleep tight, and sweet repose. Wherever you lay your head, I hope you find your nose.
Thanks, Marilyn. I'm sorry.
I knew I belonged to because I was talented or even beautiful, but because I'd never belonged to anything or anyone else. I wanna be loved by just you and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you alone. Boop-boop-be-doo. I wanna be kissed by you, just you and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you alone. I couldn't aspire to anything higher than to feel my desire to make you my own. I wanna be loved by you, just you and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you alone. I could aspire to anything higher than to feel my desire to make you my own. I wanna be kissed by you, just you and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you. Diddly 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 dum, boo boo be doo.
Everybody needs a daddy to keep himself warm. Everybody needs a daddy, silver in his hair. Rich or poor, I don't care. If he hasn't got $1 million,